This is just a little introduction to my channel, Jeremiah 1:17. I woke up in the morning yesterday and I said, Lord, what is happening in this world? What do you want me to do? And over the years, I've received many dreams from the Lord. And although I do tell my family, my husband and my children, my sisters that I'm close to, and my grandmother and, certain people in my life about my dreams, and I get excited to tell them about them, I haven't really told many people about them. And I asked the Lord yesterday morning, it was early, it wasn't even light yet, and I just said, why don't I have dreams anymore, Lord? You haven't given me a dream for a long time. And I remember thinking, if I go back to sleep and I have a dream, then I'll know that you want me to tell people my dreams. And so I went back to sleep and I had a dream. I walked into a room where my sister was standing at the front of the room with a person who was presenting her with something. And in the dream, it seemed to her she was going to be presented with an award or a promotion, a salary increase, some recognition of the work that she does with the company she works for. But instead, they gave her like a coloring book, and there was people in the room, and they politely were clapping as she received this coloring book. And in real life, my sister has struggled with a company that she's been giving everything to, very loyal. So that was part of the dream. After that, I walked away from that scene and walked deeper into this room, and then it was a big library, and it had all sorts of books on all sorts of different topics all around the room. And there was a man in the room, and I noticed that he and I were the only ones in the room, and he was noticing me, and I thought, is he noticing me? Is he really looking at those books, or is he following me? What exactly is going on here? Then I got to the other side of the room, and the room then morphed into like a garage that had been turned into like a family room area or something. And in my dream, I recognized that this was where my two sisters and I had turned it into kind of a living area that we could hang out and keep some of our stuff and just have, a TV, and there were a few couches and games and different things. And in my dream, I looked around and the couches were piling up next to each other, and there were boxes of stuff overflowing, and there was just things everywhere that were in disarray and chaos. And I thought, what the heck is going on here? What have they done to this place? So I walked towards the back of the finished garage and opened the door, and the door opened to like a small backyard area. It was like a detached garage, and then the house was behind it. And in my dream, I knew that it was our property. We had lived there, but we had moved into a different house, and this property was sitting empty except for the garage that my sisters and I had moved a bunch of stuff to and made into like a hangout place. And in the dream, I opened the door and I looked back there, and there was a family coming and going. There was a boy and a girl and some dogs and they were going in the house, and there were toys everywhere, and I could hear loud music, and it was loud satanic music that was coming from down over the hill next to the garage. And it was like that heavy metal, kind of satanic music. And the man was there, and I said, excuse me, do you live here now? And he seemed put out by the fact that he had to talk to me. And he said, yes, we live here. Yeah, this is where we live now. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you had moved in. And he was in such a hurry to get over to where this music was coming from. So I walked over and I looked over the edge of this hill, and down in this little valley there was just throngs of people. And I just remember they were listening to this heavy metal music, and they were just, holding their arms up and waving their hands, and just didn't care about anything but this satanic music. And this man was getting very interested in it and didn't want to really talk to me because he wanted to get over to that music. And so I hurriedly told him, okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you had moved in and this was, you were living here. My sisters and I guess can't stay here anymore. We'll have to get our stuff, and, we'll get it all cleaned up and get out of your way. And we can't, I recognize we can't stay here anymore. And so that was the dream. And then I woke up. So after I woke up, my husband came in to bring me a cup of coffee. This is in real life. And I thought, did I just have that dream? And then I thought, was that a rapture dream, Lord? And I started thinking back to the dream. And the first part of the dream, where my sister was receiving that award, but it really wasn't an award. It was just, them not recognizing the work that she really did and how loyal she was to the company. And then that is the world. And then those are cares of the world, right? And then the library that I wandered around in with books on everything that's in the world. It was a public library in my dream. I understood that it was like you could check these books out and take them with you. And so they were books about all the things in the world, just like at any public library. And the man that was there, not exactly sure what that part represented. I mean, I haven't had any special insights about it, except that it was also kind of that worldly worrying about, like, what is this person, going to harm me? What is this guy doing? Why is he keep looking at me out of the side of his eye? And then worrying about all the stuff, the materialistic stuff that was overflowing in the boxes, and everything was messy, and it was just worrying about worldly things. Like, that was a lot of worldly worries, that first part of the dream. And then opening that door was the world, the rest of the world, the outside, opening up to the outside world and what is going on in the world with people that are, lost in things that are not of God. They're very lost in so many different distractions. That one man was so distracted he couldn't, stop to listen to me for a minute. He wanted to get over to where this loud music was coming from. So people want to be distracted by the world. And so then me saying, okay, well, I guess we don't belong here anymore and we have to get going, and we will hurry and, get ready. And I remember in the dream, that was what I, said to the man. I said, we will get ready to leave. and get out of your way. So that was the end of the dream. What I had prayed before I went to sleep was, in my spirit, I said to God, if you give me a dream, I will share the dreams. Okay, so I said, Lord, I see that this is you. I see that you are definitely speaking to me, and I will uphold my part, which was to tell people the dreams that you've given me. Now, how am I going to tell people the dreams that he's given me? The only thing I can think of is through YouTube, to make a channel and record them there so that people can hear them, as many people as might look for Rapture Dreams. Well, I asked the Lord, what do you want me to call it? I mean, what guidance will you give me? And so I just opened my Bible, and I read the first thing that I opened my Bible to, and I opened to Jeremiah 1, and it was verse 17. And this is what it says in the New King James Version. Therefore prepare yourself and arise, and speak to them all that I command you. Do not be dismayed before their faces, lest I dismay you before them. Whoa! I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that another coincidence? No, this is the Lord working. This is how he works. The Lord, there is a scripture, and I'll have to look it up, and maybe I can stick it in here, but it says, acknowledging God, but denying the power. And I feel like that's what we do today. We oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I go to church, I love God, I do this and I do that. And then people will say, well, God doesn't, work in people's lives like that. God doesn't, speak to people anymore. You only can hear from God through the Bible, which I am a Bible believing Christian, and everything that I believe goes back to Scripture. And I believe that is our authority. That is our instruction manual for this life. And so I do not deny that. The Bible also tells us that we will see the day coming. And one of the ways that we'll see it is by people having dreams and visions. So I have not come forward with my dreams because I'm a quiet, simple person. I am not someone who, wants a lot of attention that way. And so I just have not come forward because I didn't feel like it was really my personality to do so. And why would God want me to do that? He knows that, but it's not for me to decide. And he confirmed it with me this week by giving me that dream. And so I'm going to be obedient, and I'm going to post this dream, and then my other dreams that I've had that I can remember, that I've written down. That's my story, and that's what this channel is going to be about. I don't know if God will give me any more dreams. I don't know where this is going to go. Maybe it's just, whatever dreams I can remember or I've written down that I can post on here, that's what I'll do. If he gives me more, then I'll post those. But for now, I'll close. Oh, and so I almost forgot to say, Jeremiah 1:17, therefore prepare yourself and arise and speak to them all that I may command you. That I command you, do not be dismayed before their faces, lest I dismay you before them. That's why my channel is called Jeremiah 1:17, because that is the verse that God gave me immediately when I asked him what he wanted the channel to be called or to be kind of geared towards, and that's what he said. So there you go. So that's it for today. And until next time, bless you and keep trusting Jesus.